Galatians Chapter 2. 14 years later, I traveled up to Jerusalem again, this time with Barnabas, and I also took along Titus. I went up in response to a revelation, and I set before them the gospel that I preached to the Gentiles, in a private meeting with the leaders, to ensure that I was not running or had not run in vain. Yet not even Titus, who was accompanying me, was compelled to be circumcised, even though he was a Greek. Yet some false brethren were secretly brought in to spy on the freedom we have in Christ Jesus, so that they might reduce us to slavery. But not for a single moment did we submit to them, in order that the truth of the gospel might remain untouched for you. As for those who were regarded as men of importance, whether or not they actually were important makes no difference to me, nor does it matter to God. These men did not add anything further to my message. On the contrary, they realized that I had been entrusted with preaching the gospel to the uncircumcised, just as Peter had been entrusted with preaching the gospel to the circumcised. For the one who worked through Peter in his mission to the Jews was also at work in me, in my mission to the Gentiles. Therefore, when James and Cephas and John, who were acknowledged as pillars of the community, recognized the grace that had been bestowed upon me, they gave to Barnabas and me the right hand of fellowship, agreeing that we should go to the Gentiles while they concentrated on the Jews. They asked only one thing, that we remember the poor, which is the very thing I was eager to do. However, when Cephas came to Antioch, I opposed him to his face because he was in the wrong. For until some people came from James, he had been eating with the Gentiles. But when they arrived, he drew back and kept himself apart because he was afraid of the circumcised. And the rest of the Jews carried out the same pretense that he did, so that even Barnabas was led astray by their pretense. But when I saw that their conduct was not in accordance with the truth of the gospel, I said to Peter in front of all of them, "You are a Jew, yet you are living like a Gentile and not like a Jew. How then can you require the Gentiles to live like Jews? We ourselves are Jews by birth, and not Gentile sinners. Yet we know that a man is justified not by the works of the law, but through faith in Jesus Christ. So we too came to believe in Christ Jesus so that we might be justified by faith in him, and not by the works of the law. For no one will be justified by the works of the law. But if, in seeking to be justified in Christ, we ourselves are found to be sinners, is Christ then a servant of sin? By no means. However, if I am now rebuilding what I previously tore down, then I prove myself to be a transgressor. For through the law I died to the law so that I might live to God. I have been crucified with Christ, and now it is no longer I who live, but it is Christ who lives in me. The life I live now in the flesh I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself up for me. Thank you for joining us as we explored Chapter 2 of Galatians. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and fellow learners. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on biblical teachings and their historical context. Click the bell icon so you never miss an update. For those interested in diving deeper into the book of Galatians, check out the homeschool materials linked in the description below. I do not set aside the grace of God, for if justification comes through the law, then Christ died for nothing.